Hello YouTube, this is John Michael DeBella. Now I'm going to do a video on something I don't really talk about on my YouTube page, which is who I think are the two worst presidents in the history of the U.S. history, the two worst U.S. presidents in the history of the U.S. Now, I know more about presidents from the late 20th century to the early 21st century because my parents grew up in the late 20th century and I grew up in the early 21st century. So that's what I'm basing this off of. I'd say now I am a liberal Democrat. This has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a liberal Democrat. This is just going by things that really happened during their presidency. And it's maybe ironic that the two people I'm about to name are Republicans, Richard Nixon and George H.W. Bush. Now, Richard Nixon, do I even have to say anything about Nixon? He was responsible for the Watergate incident, and he was the first president to be impeached. And he tried to make himself look like he was the good guy, and he threw names under the bus. But no, he got impeached because he got caught. It's like, and George H.W. Bush, what I can say about George Bush Sr. is, at least with George Bush Sr., he served this country. He fought in World War II, and he didn't even talk about it. People did their research about it, and they found out that he fought in World War II. So I'll give him respect for that. For George Bush Sr., George H.W. Bush's dad. But George H.W. Bush Jr., he started a fictitious war with Iraq. That's what he did. He wanted to bomb the oil mines in Iraq because he wanted oil. He was greedy for oil. And he started a whole fictitious war with Iraq. He started it. It's like, how stupid is that? That's a good way to get us killed. It's like, that's what the stereotypical Republican is like. All they care about is money. They don't care about the consequences of their actions. I'm not saying all Republicans are like that, but that's what most are, because I know there are Republicans that aren't like that, because that was just me being ignorant. And also, I want to say about Barack Obama, and just because I'm a Democrat, it doesn't mean I'm being biased about this. I'm talking about the real facts about him. Now, there are these conspiracy theories that he's a Muslim and that he's a terrorist. Well, the fact is, he's a Protestant Christian like I am. He's more spiritual like I am. I've looked these things up. He's done so much for this country than any president has in the history of presidents. He's for gay rights. At first he wasn't, because he kind of wanted to try to, do what the politicians wanted him to do. But then he decided to progress, because most Democrats do progress. Most liberals progress. And it's like, and Obamacare is good for people who need it. If they need health care, maybe some people don't like it, but it's good for people who need it. Yeah, he's done so much for gay rights. I'm looking at it right here. He supports gay rights. What else here? It says something here. I'm looking at it on Wikipedia. Shit, come on. It says here, I'm sorry. if this is taking a while. Okay, it says here, on October 8th, 2009, Obama signed the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, a measure that expands the 1969 United States federal hate crime law to include crimes motivated by a victim's actual or perceived gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability. See, he's doing it for everybody, even people like me who have a learning disability. He's doing it for people like me. So you're telling me that he's one of the worst presidents? I wouldn't say he's the best, but I wouldn't say he's the worst. He's in the middle, but I wouldn't say he's the worst. People keep talking about how Obama's the worst president. What did Nixon and George H. Bush Jr. do except for screw their own countries? You know, people keep. It's like the really conservative Republicans, just because they're Republicans, or they're racist and they call him a Muslim just because he's black, call him Muslim, or they're just downright racist. It's like, you should really look up your information about the presidents before you make ignorant assumptions, or if you have conspiracy theories, because the things I'm talking about, Nixon and Bush, have nothing to do with that I'm a Democrat, because these things are true. These things really happen historically, and when it comes to U.S. presidents, they did these things, and Obama has done these things. He's done things that progress this country, even if the Republicans don't like it. So this is my video. People can disagree or agree with me. You can debate with me in the comment section if you want, or if you don't agree, you just either like it. If you agree or disagree, just like it or dislike it. This is just something I wanted to talk about. And just let me tell you, these are not my opinions. These are facts that I've looked up and my research I've done about presidents. All right, peace.